How do you combine both calisthenics and weight training? I'm going to assume your goal is to get big and strong and be able to do all of those cool calisthenic skills like muscle ups and front levers and that kind of thing. I think this is the ideal way to train. Like if you can only lift heavy barbells, but you can't do pull-ups, then you don't really have mastery over your body. You should be able to lift heavy weights and control your own body weight. So let's talk about how you can use both calisthenics and lifting to achieve those goals of like strength, aesthetics, and mastery over your body weight. Starting with strength. You get strong by lifting heavy weights. So like the 1 to 5 rep range is generally very good for strength. And the 5 to 10 rep range is also really good for strength, but a bit more towards the hypertrophy side of things. Some movements are definitely better suited to heavy weights. So in calisthenics, that's like weighted pull-ups and weighted dips, maybe weighted push-ups too. And in lifting, that's like the big compound movements like squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, and barbell row. Some movements definitely should not be done with heavy weights, like lateral raises. You can get away with pretty heavy like curls and skull crushers, but generally isolation movements like those are better suited to higher reps and lower weight. So if you want to be strong at both calisthenics and lifting, you need to focus on lifting heavier on a few key movements: the weighted pull-up and weighted chin-up, weighted dip, possibly weighted push-up, but that's not necessary, and then barbell squat or a front squat, some kind of deadlift, bench press, overhead press, and barbell row. And if you get really strong at just these movements, you're going to have a very solid physique. You'll be lacking probably in side and rear delts, maybe biceps, definitely calves, but your body will be pretty strong as a whole. Next, in terms of aesthetics, getting bigger muscles requires a bit more volume. So slightly higher reps tend to be better. Generally about like 5 to 15 reps in each set is a very good rep range for building muscle. And this lends itself to slightly different exercises like I mentioned earlier. So you might want to do bodyweight pull-ups and dips instead, or use lighter weights on those so you can do more reps. And there are lots of great calisthenics movements for hypertrophy, but the main ones are going to be pull-ups, chin-ups, inverted rows, push-ups, dips, and lots of ab exercises. And for legs, I definitely recommend using weights. It's just harder to load the legs sufficiently with calisthenics. If you look at the top level calisthenics athletes, they tend to have smaller legs and really good upper bodies because that's what they use most in their sport. And you can do this with any other sport as well. Like you look at arm wrestlers, they have massive arms and forearms. Olympic lifters have big traps and shoulders and quads because those are like the most important muscles for their sport. So you train your upper body with those main calisthenics movements, train your legs with weights, and sprinkle in plenty of isolation exercises with dumbbells, machines and stuff for the muscles that aren't hit so well by those like big compounds, either like weighted pull-up and dip or those big barbell movements like squat and deadlifts and stuff. Lastly, for the calisthenics skills, it's great to be big and strong and aesthetic, but it's even cooler if you have mastered your body weight with skills like muscle ups, front lever, planche, and many more. I will say that if your body weight is getting heavier because you're bulking, you're building muscle, calisthenics is going to get a bit harder because the resistance is increasing since your body weight is increasing. There's a reason most calisthenics athletes are pretty small, somewhere between like 50 and 70 kilos generally, because it's just easier to move that lighter weight around than someone who's like 100 kilos. But there are some calisthenics athletes who are very big, like 90 plus kilos. So it's definitely possible, and you shouldn't use that as an excuse. If you're like a bigger guy, you can still get very good at calisthenics. When you're training skills, you need to do them at the start of the session while you're still fresh. Like good luck trying to front lever after your lats and your abs are already tired from like pull-ups and a bunch of ab work. I recommend only working on 1 or 2 skills at any time so that your nervous system gets lots of practice with those specific movements and it gets more and more efficient at performing them. If you're trying to learn like 5 skills at once, you can't give enough attention to any one of them. And when you're training skills, keep the number of reps quite low. You're not trying to build the muscle with these skill movements. You're trying to train your nervous system to perform that skill efficiently. And this is much easier when you're fresh. So you do like 1 to 3 reps per set, and you don't want to tire yourself out. You shouldn't get really tired or super sore from doing pure skill work like you would with a set of like curls to failure. So stay well away from failure when you're doing skill work. So you can do lower reps and higher sets in order to get that volume and that practice in. And you should also train for strength and hypertrophy in the muscles that are involved in those skill movements. So for muscle ups, that would be like lats, biceps, chest, triceps, and forearms. For planche, that's like chest, biceps, triceps, front delts, your whole core, even like your glutes and your legs. So a lot of these calisthenics skills involve a lot of muscles working together, which is why you should be training pretty much every muscle in the body. Like if you get bigger and stronger lats, that's going to make doing muscle ups easier. Just make sure you don't treat the skill practice as like hypertrophy work. Keep those separate. The order that you should do your training in is calisthenics skills first while you're fresh, and then strength, and then hypertrophy. You can blast out a bunch of reps when you're tired, so that's why hypertrophy is at the end. But if you're already exhausted, it's really not a good idea to then get under a barbell for like some heavy squats to strengthen your legs, because you could really hurt yourself. So skill first, and then heavy compounds, and then hypertrophy. So I'll give you a couple of example workouts now. These are not like super detailed. You shouldn't follow these exactly, but they're just to give you an idea of like what your workouts could look like if you're combining calisthenics and strength training. So an example of a full body workout, you might start it by practicing the planche for like 5 sets or something. And then you move on to strength work. So you do like barbell squats and weighted dips. And then hypertrophy stuff like bodyweight pull-ups, dumbbell overhead press, dumbbell bicep curls, close grip push-ups for your triceps, and then like hanging knee raises for your abs to finish off. That's a pretty well-rounded full body workout, including both calisthenics and like dumbbells and barbell movements. An upper body workout might be like you practice your muscle up at the start for like 4 or 5 sets, staying fresh, having plenty of rest between sets because you're not trying to tire yourself out. You're just practicing that movement, getting that movement pattern down. Then you move on to strength work like heavy bench press and heavy weighted pull-up, and then for your hypertrophy work head over to the rings and do some ring tricep extensions and ring curls, and then some dumbbell lateral raises, and finish off with a weighted plank. And then for lower body, practice your pistol squats if that's a skill that you're trying to learn. And then for strength work, move on to barbell squats, barbell deadlift. And then for hypertrophy, calf raises, leg extensions, and then Nordic curls, which is a bodyweight hamstring exercise. So as long as you know like the general principles of putting together a workout or a balanced program, you can pretty much switch out lifting or calisthenics movements, depending on which muscle you want to target. Like in that lower body workout, I could have switched out Nordic curls for like leg curls on a machine, or I could have switched out barbell squats for like jump squats or something. But like I said earlier, some movements do lend themselves better to like using weights, heavier weights like barbells and stuff, and then some work really well with body weight like pull-ups, push-ups, dips. So if you want to design your own kind of hybrid calisthenics and lifting program, I'd say pick the skills that you want to work on, do them first in the workout, then pick the strength movements that you really want to get strong at. So like if you want to bring your deadlift up and your weighted pull-up, put them after your skill work, and then do your hypertrophy movements to cover all of the other muscles that you didn't hit like in your strength work, and to bring up like your priority muscle groups or the areas that are lagging. And if you're a beginner, that's probably just about every muscle group. So you should have like a nice balanced program where you're hitting almost every muscle group at least twice a week. So that means no bro splits where you have like a leg day and an arm day and a chest day and stuff. You should be hitting chest like twice a week, legs twice a week. And you can do that with like push-pull legs or upper lower or a full body split. Let me know if you've tried kind of hybrid calisthenics lifting training before, like what your workouts look like. Maybe you're going to design your own like workout program based on these principles. Let me know what that looks like in the comments. If you want some more like direct feedback from me and some other guys in the community, you can check out the Discord linked in the description. And if you want like a solid program that's already been designed for you and you just go in the gym and follow it to get stronger and build muscle, you can check out my physique programs, which I'll also have linked in the description. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.